Okay, so let's start with a little bit revision of inductive effect. And before this, we have already seen concepts of, different types of reactions, different type of reagents. Right, so we have seen substrates, we have seen reagents. Depending on substrate, there are different types of reagents as well. And in reagents, we have seen base and nucleophiles and ligands. That is the part that is those reagents which are electron rich species, so they'll attack electron deficient region. Okay, and electron deficient species will attack electron rich substrates. And we have seen even free radicals or odd electron reagents. Then we have seen different types of uh, solvents, that is polar solvent and non-polar solvents. In polar, we have seen polar protic and polar aprotic solvents. One which releases or in which it is directly attached to H or hydrogen atom, and the other where it is not attached to hydrogen atom. So these were the types of solvents. Then we moved to type of reactions where we have seen substitution reaction, addition reaction, elimination, and rearrangement reactions. Okay, so substitution means sigma bond breaks and new sigma is formed. Addition means a pi bond will break, and for every pi bond, there will be two new sigma bonds. Elimination means two sigma will break and one new pi will be formed. Addition means from saturation we are moving towards, from unsaturation we are moving towards saturation, and elimination is opposite of that, that is from saturation we are moving to unsaturation. And then we have seen rearrangement reactions, and these rearrangement reactions are mostly found in or observed in carbocations and carboanions. Mostly they'll be in carbocations. Okay, then next we saw this electron negativity. So we observe that fluorine is the most electronegative. After that it's oxygen, after that nitrogen or chlorine, then carbon or sulfur. So like that, these are the most electronegative elements. So we introduced electronegative elements because now we want to discuss concepts or electronic effect. So in these electronic effect, first one is inductive effect. And what is that? Or it is also called I effect. So this is a permanent effect of polarization in the chain, right? So it's a permanent effect of polarization. Polarization means when sigma bond is formed between two atoms of different electronegativity. As you can see, carbon and chlorine, they have different electronegativity. Then the sigma bond pair electron density is shifted towards more electronegative atom. As we can see here by the arrow, we have tried to show that the electron shift towards more electronegative atom, right? So the bonded electron. Okay, so that's what happens. And due to shifting of electron cloud, the dipole is created between two atoms. Dipole means something which has two ends, two charge separated by a distance. So there is slightly positive charge here and slightly negative charge here. So this is called a dipole. So a dipole is created between the two atoms. Due to this dipole in sigma bond, electron density in the chain is also shifted and progressively moves into the chain, which we have seen here, because now this is positive, slightly positive as compared to Cl. So now the neighboring carbon, from there also the bonded electron will now be shifted towards this carbon C1, and this keeps on happening. And I mean, it will keep on moving towards the rest of the chain. What we see here is, as we go away from the chain, obviously this positive charge will keep on reducing, or we can say that the effect of I induction actually keeps on decreasing as we move away from the site, the first site. Same thing here. Now, if you see, sometimes you may get confused that oxygen is 3.5, its electron negativity is more than carbon. So why here it is like this? So it's not oxygen actually. This is O negative. So O negative means something which is having high number of electron as compared to its original state. So due to this, it is negative charge. So a negative charge or some entity which is having extra electron will not attract more electrons. It will actually repel electrons. So that's why it is shown like this. That is moving away from oxygen or towards the carbon. So the two types of polarizations are possible. That is electron cloud shifting towards the carbon or shifting away from the carbon. So these two possibilities are there. And some points we have already seen that first, this effect is a permanent effect. Second, it depends on the distance. So this is distance dependent. Third, it is additive in nature. So when two groups of similar nature are present in molecule, their effects are added. So suppose if there is a, as it is shown here. So if chlorine and chlorine, there are two such groups are there. So their effect will be added. Okay, then one point should always be kept in mind that I effect always operate along sigma bond. Right? So whenever there is a pi bond, we will not be thinking about induction. There will be something else. Then carbon and hydrogen sigma bond is taken as a reference, for which we take the inductive effect as 0. Okay, next is that it's a weak effect since sigma bond electrons are strongly held. Why it is weak effect? Because sigma bond electrons are strongly held in the bond, right? So it is difficult for it to move the sigma bond electrons. So that's why this is a weak effect. Okay, now just like dipoles, we show these, a crossed arrow is used to indicate the direction of movement of electrons. Crossed arrow means like this. So in physics, we have seen in dipoles, we will represent a dipole like this, which actually shows or indicates the direction of movement of electron. Direction of movement of electron. By convention, electrons are displaced in the direction of the arrow. The tail, if you see here, this is the tail. It looks like the positive sign. So the tail of the arrow, which looks like a positive or plus sign, is electron deficient. So this will represent electron deficient. So that means something with slightly positive charge, and this will be the negative charge. So if it is CCl, right? So electron will actually move towards Cl. So it will be shown like this. And this means there will be a slightly positive charge developed here and partial negative charge developed at chlorine. So this I effect creates only polarization in the sigma bond and not the ionization of the bond. That is also important. that there is no ionization. What does that mean? That means that bond does not break. If bond will break, an ion, two different ions will be formed. This is only shifting of electrons or polarization. There is no ionization, right? So that was the next property or point. Now, this is also called as transmission effect. When there is O, is not it pi bond? Okay. When there is O, it does not guarantee that there will be only pi bond. First, there are 2 points. Pi bond means there is already a sigma bond. But if a pi bond is there, there won't be I effect. So that is okay, that is understood. But in this case, when it is given that carbon-oxygen bond is a single bond, so in a single bond, there will be only sigma bond. Only in multiple bonds you will have pi bond. So if it is a sigma bond, if it is a single bond, it will always be sigma bond, whether it is nitrogen, whether it is oxygen, whether it is anything.
But sir, when you
Yes.
have an O minus, you
Hmm.
have an extra charge there, right? O minus. So
Yes.
doesn't that make it a, like if you do it like hyperconjugation, doesn't it become a double bond then?
Yeah, it will, but right now it is not, right. What we have given is not this. What we have right now is this, right? Okay, so now you are
Yeah.
talking about hyperconjugation, which we have not yet discussed, but even if we consider that that happens, so when that will happen, obviously then there is no, I mean, that means there is no place for I effect at that time. But right now, when there is no double bond formed between carbon and oxygen, then that means
Okay.
only a single bond. And if there is only a single bond, that means that is only a sigma bond.
Okay.
Okay. So next, as I was saying, this is also called transmission effect. And I guess you must have understood why, because the effect is transmitted along the chain, right? So that's why it is called transmission effect, because it is transmitted in the chain. Okay. Now, in case of organometallic compounds, that means where organic compounds with metals. For example, suppose if there is some R into Li or R bond with Li, or there is a compound called RMGX. This is actually called Grignard's reagent. We'll study this reagent later. So this is an organometallic compound. Why? Because here lithium is metal, here Mg is metal. Carbon is bonded to the less electronegative metal. Metals are less electronegative as compared to carbon. So that's what we have seen in this table as well. All the metals, mostly the metals will be less electronegative, or we can say metals are electropositive and carbon is electronegative as compared to metals. So we take carbon and hydrogen as reference, and what you see in the right, that is nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, and in fact, all those which are below fluorine, that is the halogen family, they all are electronegative as compared to carbon. And the ones which you see on the left, that is lithium, beryllium, boron, or sodium, magnesium, basically the metals. These metals are electropositive as compared to carbon. Right? So in all these compounds, due to this electronegativity difference between metals and carbon, metals which are less electronegative than carbon, carbon acquires partial negative charge over itself. So these are the very rare compounds where you will see that the partial negative charge is on carbon. R means it's an alkyl group, so there will be carbon. And this Li will have positive charge, this Mg will have slightly positive charge. Okay, so there will be slightly negative charge on carbon, and this is the only case. These are the cases where you will find that. Next, it is also important to remember that inductive effect is atom's ability to polarize the bond. That is, the shift electrons in a sigma bond in response to the electronegativity of nearby atoms. So this is, you can say, its ability of atom to polarize. So it depends on ability of atoms to polarize the bond. We'll see different type of effects, two different types of effects now. So on the basis of withdrawal or donation of electron density, we have I effect of two types. So next is two types of I effect. So what are the two types of I effect? The first type is negative I effect or minus I effect. What is that? The atoms or group which withdraw electrons, that is electron withdrawing groups from the carbon. So electron withdrawing group attached to carbon. So what will it do? It will attract carbon. It will attract the bonded electron cloud from carbon towards itself. Such groups, when they form carbon making, when they make carbon electron deficient, are called as negative I groups, and effect is called minus I effect. Right? So what will happen? This is carbon. This is electron withdrawing group. That means electron cloud will shift towards this electron withdrawing group. So electron will go away from carbon. Due to that, carbon will have a partial positive charge, and this electron withdrawing group will have partial negative charge. The electron cloud is going away from the carbon, and that's why we'll say that this is minus I effect. So what will be plus I effect? It will be just opposite of that. Next is second effect is plus I effect. That is when electron donating group Yes. So when electron donating group is attached to carbon. So carbon attached to a group which is electron donating group, or you can say repelling group. So due to this, what will be the charge? Due to this, what will happen? Electron cloud will shift towards carbon. On carbon, there will be slightly negative charge. On donating group, there will be slightly positive charge. And this group, because carbon is gaining electron, so everything is based or with reference to that carbon. So with reference to that carbon, this is called plus I effect. Or you can, if we have to uh, think or see from this perspective, that is perspective of the groups which is attached to carbon. So the group which is attached to carbon here, electron withdrawing group, that has a negative charge, so that is also called minus I group. And because it is due to minus I group, we say that this effect is minus I effect. Here that is plus I group, and that's why it is called plus I effect. So there are two type of effects, plus I effect and minus I effects. Now we should also know what all groups will cause positive I effect and what all groups will cause minus I effect with respect to carbon. So various groups, and we'll see its decreasing order or the order of minus I strength. Okay, so groups are like this. If we have, say, ammonia plus, so because there is a plus charge, it will try to attract electron towards itself. So this is electron withdrawing group. This strength of this will be more than nitro group's strength, and that will be more than SO3H group, that will be more than cyano group, that is cyanide or nitrile group, and that will be more than aldehyde, then COR. What is COR? COX. That COX will be greater than, yeah, it's ether. Then COX will be greater than COO COR, which will be greater than COOR, which will be greater than COOH. So this is the order of, or decreasing order of strength of I effect. Then CO and H2. These are the groups which will attract electrons from the carbon. Then are halogens, that is fluorine, chlorine, bromine, and iodine. Then we have OR.
So what is COR?
This one,
Yeah.
what is this? Anyone who knows what is COOCOR?
Is it anhydride?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, and what is COR?
COOR. That is ether.
Then what is OR?
OR.
This one.
um,
Okay, we'll see it. I mean, I have given you list of this, so we'll come back to this. Let me first finish this. This is alkyne group, right? Then we have NH2, that is amine group. Then we have
OR, OR is ketone, right?
OR is not ketone. OR is, as we said earlier, it
I
is
mean,
ether. This is ketone.
oh,
COR is ketone.
yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Got it.
And this is ester. COOR is ester.
Yeah.
C6H5, that is phenyl group. Then we have CH double bond CH2, that is the alkene group, and then hydrogen. Hydrogen is our reference. So above this, everything is minus I effect, and then the second will actually start from H. So we'll see that as well. So we have drawn, I mean, we have written it, but there is something in this, there is some pattern in this order actually. We'll see that as well. Okay, now coming to minus I effect. So the groups which will show minus I effects, minus I means, sorry, plus I means it should repel electron. So it should be negatively charged. If you see above minus I effect, there are species which are either positively charged or the species which have electron deficient or electronegative atoms in the group, right? Now coming to plus I effect, what all elements or what all groups will show this, we'll see that. So first, the example itself which we have seen, that is O negative, that will have the highest, and that after that there is COO negative if somehow you get this group, or CH3 thrice, or alkyl groups basically, which try to repel electrons. The alkyl groups are always like that, or you have CH2 CH3, or just CH3, or deuterium. And then again here our reference point, that is hydrogen. So what is the pattern here, or if there is some pattern or not, we'll see that. The order of inductive effect is very much important in organic chemistry, obviously, because all organic compounds are covalently bonded and mostly carbon is connected with more or less electronegative atoms to form different functional groups. So in nearly all molecules, inductive effect will operate. And it is also important to note that minus I of OR, which we have marked here, minus I of OR is more than minus I of OH. And minus I of C triple bond C, which is here, that is more than minus I of NH2. Now this data is important to remember because later we'll use it, I mean, to decide leaving group ability and acidic strength, it will be used later. So we'll study about relieving, leaving group and all those things. So that's why this 4, right, that is OR, OH, C, triple bond and nitrogen. So this part is important for us. Okay, groups with positive charge, obviously those having positive charge, these groups will be very strong, showing I effect because they have positive charge. So they will attract electron cloud with more power or more strength. Same way, groups with negative charge, which we see here, they have, again, groups with this negative charge, they have strong I effect as it repels electron cloud towards other atom. And here you can see that this one, this part, right, this is actually like this C, CH3, CH3, CH3. So alkyl group always repels electrons from itself towards the carbon. So here what happens is all these three alkyl groups will repel electron, and when they will repel electron, this carbon will also repel electron. So alkyl groups repel. So what happens here now? Here you have carbon, hydrogen, and only two alkyl groups. And then here you have C, H, H, that is two hydrogen and only one alkyl group. And here you have all the three hydrogens. So obviously, because there are three electron repelling groups here, and we have studied that I effect adds up. So all these three effects adds up and form the I effect for this central carbon. So that's why it is more. And that's why it is, this one is less because it has only two alkyl group. This is even lesser because it has only one alkyl group. And this is the least in this group because the last one has no alkyl group. So that is about the I effect, or simply we can say that 3 degree will have more than 2 degree, will have more than 1 degree. That is about only about these tertiary or secondary, or you can say alkyl groups, right? So if there is an electronegativity difference along a sigma bond, inductive effect is always operative, and this will be operative in almost or most of the compounds which we will encounter in organic chemistry. So that was I effect. Next, we'll study resonance. And we have only 4 minutes left here. So I'll end this session and I'll restart without taking any break. So you have to be online. Don't go away. I'll be back.